Hello everyone. So this video is continuation of secondary storage system from module 5. So here we will see disk scheduling. So disk scheduling is a major main responsibility of operating system. Unlike every hardware of operating system take care of every hardware, disk scheduling is also one of the responsibility of operating system, and this scheduling is measured based on access time and its bandwidth. So faster access time, then efficient disk scheduling it is. So input output, whenever a process requires input output data, or it has to read the data or write the data from the disk, it has to issue a system call. Based on the system call issued, operating system will take care of disk scheduling for input output operations. So to get the information from the disk, we need several informations. So it is like, what are you doing on disk, like input operation or output operation. Disk address for the transfer means you have to provide proper disk address. Memory address means which plotter you are using. Memory address means which track you are using. Number of sectors to be transferred. Each memory address or each track is divided into sectors. Then you have to divide, means you have to find disk address, which means track address, memory address, starting address of the track from where you are getting the data, and from that track which sector you are accessing, how many sectors you have to transmit. So this is the information needed for input output operation on disk scheduling. So disk scheduling, I have already told, access time is how you measure the disk scheduling. Access time is calculated based on seek time and rotational latency. Seek time is finding the memory address or desired sector from the track. So this is like seeking for the desired sector or finding for the desired sector is the seek time, the time taken to find the desired sector in the cylinder. Then rotational latency is once you find the sector, that sector to be moved or rotated to the head, read-write head of the disk head. So read-write head of that disk alignment. So that we call it as disk head. So rotational latency is the movement of the sector to read-write header. So addition of finding the sector time plus rotational time, we call it as access time. So access time is equal to seek time plus rotational latency. Then bandwidth is found based on total number of bytes transmitted divided by the time limit, means from the time when the first request started till the completion of last transfer, means total number of bytes divided by the time from which the request started till the completion of last transfer is the bandwidth. So to support this scheduling, we have many algorithms. First algorithm is first come first serve. This is one of the important topic from this scheduling. There are many algorithms and its problems. So first problem or first algorithm in this scheduling is first come first serve. So here, so in first come first serve, we have queue, means we have the desired sectors or the head points from which the information is needed, and we will be having the head position at starting. What will be the head position of the magnetic disk? So this is a graph to plot on magnetic disk which start from 0th address bit to 199. So this is the limit of an track, and your head on the track is at the position 53. This is the queue of heads to which the data, means to which the head has to be moved. So in first come first serve, your head is at 53. Then start moving the head in the order of queue. In the order of first queue element, the disk scheduling happens. So head is at 53. The next head movement is to 98. From 63, head moves to 93. From 53 to 98. From 98 it has to move to 183. So from 98 to 183, from 183 the next value is at 37, and so on. So while moving the head, you have to calculate what is the amount of head moved from the first value to next value. So head was at 53, head movement from 53, it was at 53, first it moved to 98. How many heads it has moved? 98 minus 53. So 48 heads movement has happened to move from 53 to 98. Then it has moved from 98 to 183. Head movement from 98 to 183, it takes 85. So 183 minus 98, it has moved 85 movements. So after 183 it has moved to 37. From 37 it has moved to 122. From 122 to 14. From 14 to 124. So we are at 14 to 124. From 124 to 65, we are at 65. From 65 to 65. For every movement, calculate the total number of head moved from 65 to 67, or it may be from 124 to 57. Calculate the number of heads moved for each movement. Add total head moved. You will get total head movements for this cycle, that is 640 cylinders. So total head movements of 640 cylinders has happened from the head from 53 to 67 based on this Q movements. So this is how first come first serve work. Next one is shortest seek time first. In shortest seek time, if your head is at 53, then you have to find the head, means you have to start finding the head in the queue which is near to 53, then move there. So this is similar to shortest job first. Here you are finding shortest seek, means shortest time first. So here in shortest seek time first or shortest distance first, from 53 you have to find which is the small distance you are moving in this queue. Okay. So here in the shortest seek time first, your head queue head is at 53, sorry, disk head is at 53, and you have a queue 98, 183, 37, 122, 14, 124, 65 and 67. So now in this queue 65 is the nearest value to 53. So from 53 if you move to 65, it takes near value, means for 53 63 is the nearest number. So we can tell shortest seek time for 53 is 65. So from 52 to 65 the distance traveled or total head movement happened is 12. For 63 in the queue nearest value is 67. So from 65 head moves to 67, which is of 2 head movements. For 67 in this queue 65 is already completed. You have left with 37 which is near to 67. So head moves from 67 to 37 which is equal to 30. For 37 14 is near in the queue. In the queue find the nearest value for 37 which is 14. So head moves from 37 to 14 which is of 23 head moves. From 14, since 37 is already finished, 65 is finished, 67 is also finished. Out of 124, 122, 183 and 98, 98 is nearest value. So move ahead from 14 to 98. From 98 move to 122. From 122 move to 24, and from 24 to 183. Okay, so find all the head movements, and total head movements is the addition. addition of all the head movement happen for each and every movement which has happened in the shortest seek time first. So I repeat, for shortest seek time first, you have to find the nearest value in the queue. For 53 in the queue, nearest value is 65. For 65 it is 67. So based on the nearest value or nearest distance, based on the nearest distance to the current head position, shortest seek time first scheduling is done. So after finding the shortest scheduling time, calculate the head movement for each and every movement happened. If head movement from 53 to 65 is done, then total head moves is 12. So 65 minus 53. Next, from 65 to 67, it is like 67 minus 65, that is 2. If it is 67 to 37, then 67 minus 37. Total movements are 30. So adding all the head movement values, you can find total head movement happened for this shortest seek time first for the example. So we'll compare this with first come first serve. See here, in the first come first serve, total head movements was 640, and here total head movements is 236. So here, which is very effective than the first come first serve method. But to find the shortest seek time first algorithm, or to assign the shortest seek time algorithm, if at all the value which has arrived first is not near to the current head position, then the process has to wait for longer period of time unless it is assigned. Okay, I think you understood the topic. So next disk scheduling algorithm we'll see in next video. Thank you.